All right, let's talk about the 3 reasons why coaches lose money with Facebook ads that very few coaches even understand. What happens is a lot of coaches will try running ads. They'll be like, it didn't work. So I don't know what it is. They'll try different things. They'll change their price. They'll do all kinds of stuff. Well, inevitably, I think there's 3 reasons that I've seen after coaching over 1,300 coaches and looking at thousands of ad accounts. Now, what happens is a lot of coaches know they need to use Facebook ads. You do. It's the best traffic source. It's where your clients are, but they don't understand a lot of what to do, and they sort of like look around for various pieces of information, try and piece everything together, and then end up losing money. So I want to give you the 3 reasons why coaches lose money on Facebook ads. Number 1 is they do not understand how artificial intelligence is working in regards to the ads. You see, here's the cool thing. If you know how AI works within Facebook ads, it makes your life a million times easier. I can tell you right now, after spending almost $3 million over the last 3 years of this recording, and millions upon millions beyond that, that it is easier now to run ads than ever before on Facebook. Way easier. And it's because of the advancements in artificial intelligence. And what the AI has done is it's made it easier to reach the people who are qualified. Your ads can run longer. The AI technology is smarter. It just is better, and it's only getting better. However, it can be completely used against you. And so what's happening is we're seeing a lot of coaches not understanding that AI can actually make it worse. So how is that happening, and what do we do about it? Well, the way it's happening is you've got to understand Facebook has one job, and their job is to basically say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Advertiser, give us your credit card, we'll scan your website, and we'll just figure it all out based on what we see on your landing page, and you just let us do the rest. And they set your campaign up automatically. And their AI has one job. Do you know what that job is? It's to match your ad with the people most likely to engage with it, okay? Because I want you to think about this for a second. Facebook, obviously this is my interpretation of it, and you can look at their financials, and when they talk about earnings reports and stuff like that, they need one thing to happen more than anything. They need the ads to make sure that users have a good user experience. If you're on Facebook and you see ads that trigger you, that make you mad, that annoy you, and then eventually you're just going to go to another place for your social media stuff like TikTok or something like that. And so all these places online know they're competing with all the other places, right? And they do not want what happened with Yahoo to happen to them. You might remember the early days of Yahoo. It was like this banners flashing everywhere, all over the place, and people got banner blindness. And then Google came out and so on and so forth and simplified everything. And Yahoo is just sort of now a part of the history of the internet. It's still around, but it's nothing like it was because people got banner blindness, right? And they just got sick of it. So Facebook's AI, by default, is designed to create good user experiences with your ads, right? Makes sense. If you own Facebook or you're in charge of it or whatever it is, you're like, how can I match an ad to the user so the user's like, that's really cool, I want to click on that, okay? And then gives a good user experience. That user comes back 26 times a day, and every time they come back, sees ad, Facebook keeps making more money, right? Here's the problem. Facebook does not care that you need clients, okay? And this isn't like some sort of conspiracy or anything like that. Their job is to match your ad to the right user. So you target however many people you want. The likelihood is they're only going to run your ad to, at best, 1% of your audience, all the way down to 0.1%. Okay? So 0.1% to 1% of your audience, that's all that's going to see your ad. And the problem is they're doing it to get people to click on it and create a good user experience. So we have to override all that. And it's not a bad thing, but in general, the way we do it is we need to override about 95% of the settings in Facebook to force them to go after the people most likely to buy. Okay, so that's the first problem. And we're going to get into all this here in a minute here. But the power of AI can be used against you or it can be used for you. And that's the biggest mistake coaches are making right now, is they are not understanding that Facebook works with unlimited amounts of types of businesses, right? It's not just coaches. It's like everything, e-commerce sites and so on and so forth. And a giant e-commerce site selling something, a physical product or something like this, doesn't really care who the person is who's buying it. If they can afford to buy it, great. Where coaches need people who are qualified. So that's the first thing. Now, the second issue is this, and this is the second reason why coaches are losing money right now using Facebook ads. It's they're trying to get cheap leads, okay? See this all the time. I'm constantly looking at ad accounts and seeing what's happening here. I would argue I probably have seen and know more about the coaching space in regards to Facebook ads than anybody out there, just based on the volume of what we see, what we do, all that kind of stuff. And I can tell you right now, one of the number one things that coaches want to do is see cheap leads. I need to get cheaper clicks. I need to get cheaper webinar or email leads. I need to get cheaper booked calls, okay? I'm here to tell you for a fact, cheaper does not equal qualified. Rarely ever. Now, once it's working, you want to optimize it, okay? So for example, let's say you're spending $100 to get a qualified call on your calendar, and 1 out of 3 of those is moving forward, right? So now you're spending $300 to get a qualified sale. So your cost per sale to get a qualified coaching client is $300. And let's say you're making, for the sake of this hypothetical example, you're making $3,000 per sale. So theoretically, you're 10 timesing your money, right? You spend $100 per qualified call. You enroll 1 out of 3. And now so that's $300 per sale, and you're making $3,000, or $300 cost per sale, and you're making $3,000, right? That's a 10 times ROI, which is amazing, right? Now, at that point, we're going to optimize. So what does that mean? What we're now going to do is now we're going to start tweaking and refining certain things to basically say, okay, can we get that down to like $90 or $95 cost per completed call? Number one. And number two, can we scale and sustain those numbers, right? If you're spending $300 to get a sale, well, now it's like, how much money can we dump into this thing every month so that you can get 5 or 10 times back, right? And can we do it at scale? Because this is the biggest problem. One of the biggest problems coaches have is they can get it working on a small scale, and then they start ramping it up and the whole thing falls apart, all right? And so what you need to realize is that cheaper leads, like cheaper registrations, like email addresses, cheaper clicks, and cheaper costs or cheaper calls are not going to make you more money if they're the wrong people, okay? So if all you're getting is garbage quality, just getting cheaper leads, you can't think like, oh, man, if I can get way cheaper leads, eventually there's going to be some kind of gold in this, and I'm going to find a qualified person, and they're going to work with me. That just does not happen because of number one. Remember what we said on number one? The AI is doing all the work now. So if you're running ads and you're like, man, I'm getting people who are like, everybody's unemployed, everybody's, it's just bad. Well, what's happening is the AI is using that data to go find more people who look like those people. So every time somebody registers, if you have it set up right, the AI goes, find more people like that. And it goes further and further into your audience. Let's say your audience is 1 million people. It's going to just go deeper and deeper and deeper and keep finding the people who look like the people who are registering. And it's going to know based on their profile stats of like what they're clicking on and all this kind of stuff. And if they're all like following, payday loan Facebook pages and credit repair Facebook pages and stuff like that, Facebook's going to latch on to that, and they're going to be like, okay, these people are all following these, so maybe they want more of those. And they're using all this data to compile and be like, well, what's the web that all these people have in common? And then they're going to start running your ad to more and more and more of those people, right? And so if you're like, well, if I can just get cheaper leads, that means then the quality will eventually happen and I'll make a good ROI. You won't. It rarely ever happens. And so the second biggest mistake coaches are making right now is cheap leads. First mistake they're making is they don't understand that the AI is working against them unless they know how to make it work for them, which means we have to override 95+% of the percentage of the settings. And then it's way easier. Like I said, totally way easier. Now, before we get to number 3 and some solutions here, I need you to do one thing. Hit the subscribe button somewhere around this video, because I create, regular videos, and they're all free here on YouTube, and it's talking about these kinds of things and how to optimize and stuff like that. Problem is, unless you hit the subscribe button, it's going to be hard to know when they come out. So hit the subscribe button. They're all free, and you never know which is going to be the next video that you might need at that right time that's going to give you the right information on how to get more clients. Okay, now number 3 is, I'm just looking at my notes, most coaches don't understand their KPIs. Okay, what does that mean? Key performance indicators. What a lot of coaches do, and again, this is no disrespect to coaches, this is not shaming anybody, it's just the fact that a lot of coaches don't know. So here's what happens, right? A lot of coaches will maybe get some certification, or maybe they're an offline expert, a doctor, something like that, and they're like, okay, or a CEO, former CEO, or something like that. They come online, they're like, I need clients, all right? So start running ads, Facebook says do this, I create some headlines, I get them to a PDF or whatever, a video, and I'm like, okay, what do I got to watch for? Okay, cost per, I don't know, sale, call, I have no idea, right? And so just don't know, right? And Facebook's not going to tell you. Facebook's got hundreds of metrics like click-through rates and link click-through rates and engagement this and percent, like they just endless amounts of metrics. So you're like, I don't know, maybe Facebook says I should get a good engagement rate, and then Facebook says if you press this button, we likely have seen a 33% increase in conversions. You're like, well, I want a 33% increase in conversions. I press that button, right? And then it just gets worse. Now, you have to know the KPIs. For example, every 3 months, I get my blood work done, right? And then I just actually got it, and I just had a call with the physician assistant, PA, the physician assistant, who helps me, and we're going over it, and she's like looking at my blood work. I'm 47 now, so I think it's good to get it done regularly, and I like it, and it doesn't cost much with the insurance I have and stuff like that, so I'm like, why not, right? I heard a saying from Tony Robbins a number of years ago. He said, you know what? If you take care of the first half of your life, your body will take care of the second half of your life. You know what I mean? If you take care of your body the first half of your life, your body will take care of you the second half. And I also know that, when you're healthy, you have thousands of options and dreams and goals and plans, right? But if you're sick, you have one goal: get better, right? And so I'm trying to do my best, and hopefully secretly that a mullet will come back if I optimize my blood work and all that, but it's just not happening. So anyhow, I get my blood work done and we go through it, and she helps me understand, I don't know any of this. And she's like, okay, we got to tweak this, try this type of vitamin, various things like that. And we're constantly optimizing my blood work, right? So that I don't just wake up one day years from now and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish we would have known about this 10 years ago. And it's the same thing with Facebook. It's not about just launching everything. It's about the optimizing, and there's a number of key performance indicators that we need to be looking at that can save you a lot of money. And when we work with our coaching clients, what we do is we start them off on a small budget. It depends on your niche, $10 to $20 a day. I never like to go over about 25. Sometimes people are like, well, I got a good sized budget. I'd really like to go fast. We might go to 30, but somewhere between 10 and 30, ideally, that 15, 20, it depends on the niche, but roughly that, okay? There's a lot of agencies who are like, we need to start at $100 a day, and that's wrong, okay? Because here's the thing, we use a bunch of key performance indicators to see what's working and not working. So for example, what's the link click-through rate, okay? What's the percentage of people clicking through on your ad to your site? Not total click-through rate, link click-through rate. What's the percentage of people registering? Now, what's the percentage of people showing up and engaging in your stuff? What's the percentage of people booking calls? What's the percentage of people showing up? How qualified are those calls? Those are just the high level ones. We do a lot more, but I don't want to bore you, but we work on a lot more. And then every 4 to 7 days, we kind of like pop open the hood and go, okay, these are the KPIs. All right, well, the percentage of people clicking on your ad is really low, so that means the message to market match is not good. So we need to fix that. Let's fix that. Or the percentage of people registering needs to be whatever it should be, it's not. So that means there's a mismatch between your ad and your registration page. Let's fix that. Or is it your audience? And then we can kind of look at these things and go, okay, it looks like Facebook's locking into the wrong people. Let's unlock that and get them locked into the right people so that we can fix this, or, various things like that. And if you don't understand your KPIs, then what happens is a lot of coaches do one of a number of things. Number one, they just quit too soon because they're like, see, it didn't work for me. I knew it wouldn't work, but it is working for a lot of other coaches in your market because you can see their ads. So it is working, it's not working for you. The second thing they do is they spend too much thinking they need more data. But what's happening, remember, is number two and number one are happening. You're getting cheap leads, which is probably garbage quality. The AI is optimizing for even more garbage, right? And so spending more to get more data isn't good unless the KPIs are looking good. Or thirdly, they just start changing things. It's like, I got one bad call, that means I need to change my audience. But is it the funnel or whatever, right? So we got to know what you need to know, all right? So those are the three big things that coaches are doing wrong without really even knowing it. And this doesn't even count like the funnel and the system and everything like that. So here's what I have for you. What I want you to do is one of two things. Number one, if you're a member of our Skool community, which most of you are, I have a link below, and it's to set up one of our Skool success calls. And it's a 15-minute free call, nothing for sale on it. You can't buy anything on it. We don't sell anything on that call. But we're going to look at what you're doing. We're going to look at if you're running ads. We're going to help you understand what's happening, what the KPIs are. If you failed at ads, we're going to look at why, show you some examples of what to do. And we're going to unlock a couple trainings that's going to show you what the key performance indicators you need are. We have an advanced training that normally is reserved for our clients. We're going to give it to you for free, and it's just on a 15-minute call, okay? Don't bring your credit cards, nothing to buy. It's exclusive for our Skool community members, okay? So you just click that link below, book that call, and we're just going to look at it and then show you what to do, how to fix it, some strategies around it, plus unlock you some exclusive training on what to know for the numbers. I've got a whole training for you, and we're going to unlock that. It's in our Skool community, and that's going to be for free, okay? Nothing to buy. Obviously, if we look at it and we're like, hey, we could potentially help you, here's how that could work, then we'll talk about how to do that maybe on a second call, okay? Nothing to buy. So if you're in a Skool community, click that link right now because call's free. We've done obscene amounts of these and everybody loves them, and you're going to get some free bonus training, okay? Second thing is, if you're not a member of our Skool community, you're missing out. There's well over 1,000 people now there, and it's free. We're going to give you a 300-word ad template, all the training on what we do to get clients using ads. So click the second link, join our free Skool community, get in there and get to work. And then also just make sure you tell us who you are in the post there. We'd love to follow you and all that stuff. All right, so that's what you need to do, and you need to remember Facebook AI is good, but you got to make sure it's working for you. The second thing is cheap leads are not good. That's a bad sign. And number three, you have to know the KPIs or you'll just drive yourself off a cliff. And remember, Facebook is the best way to get these clients. It's the best place for them. We just got to make sure you're doing it right. All right, so click the links below or in the pinned comment section. See ya.